This is a review video for Schoology. We'll call it Schoology101 to review some of the most used items that you'll encounter while using Schoology. Right now I'm on my Schoology homepage and I'm going to click Courses. All my courses pop up. I like to use pictures to mark them. I'll show you how to do that. We'll be using the AP course, and you'll notice with the 3 serial numbers there, I have 3 sections of AP, and at the beginning of the year I combined all 3 into one course to make things easier so that anything I add, anybody who is in that class in any of the 3 sections can see it. And I only have to do the actions once. Some teachers prefer that, and some teachers prefer to keep things separate, but there's still other ways to copy things over to other courses easily. So either way will work. I like to use a picture that students can recognize. So if you want to change your picture, up in the upper left-hand corner, if you hover over that area, you can click Edit Picture. Then you can choose one of the Schoology pictures or click on Attach File, and it'll take you to the folders of your desktop, and you can choose a picture that you have from there. I chose a picture of their textbook to make it more recognizable for them. Right now we're in the Material section. Got all of my tabs here off to the left, so we're in Materials. You'll see I like to organize my class with folders for each of the chapters or units. Some teachers like to do it daily, but I like to keep them in more chapter chunks. Everything looks a little bit light right now because I have everything unpublished, meaning the students can't see any of these folders. Only I can see them and edit them. If you would like to unpublish items, you just use the gearbox off to the right. Click on that. So either you can publish all. So when I publish that, that means everything in this one folder will become visible to the students, and the folder itself will become visible in the Materials section, like you see here. Or if I want to hide that, then I just again click on the gear and again unpublish. So again, that hides the folder and everything inside. Sorry, my computer is a little bit slow. All right, so for viewing what's in the folders, I can click on the folder itself, or I can click on this little arrow to the left. Again, the computer is quite slow here in F210. All right, so that gives me a list of everything that is in that folder. Or I can re-click it and then it pops it back up like that. If I'd like to create another folder, I go up to Add Materials and then Add Folder. This is also where I can add other items like assignments, tests, quizzes, files. I can start a discussion. I can add another page and some other items such as I can add Edpuzzle, which is a favorite of mine. I'm going to add another folder. All right, now I need to name the folder. I'm going to call this week of March 30th through April 4th or April 3rd. You can choose a color. And you can set dates here if you like. I'm just going to leave it for now. Well, no, I'll set a date that it's available on March 30th. And I can add an end date if I like. But I don't know that I would advise doing that, since you might have some students who are ill and would still need to access those materials. And I can choose if I publish or unpublish it, so I could start working on this folder if I wanted to and leave it unpublished. But since I have my date set on there, or I can customize it for my different sections, but I'm going to select all. Then I can do the different dates for the different sections, or I can just leave it as one. I could put a description. Alright. Keep in mind there's some other things you can do here with font, such. Formatting, indenting. I can insert content like images and links and other items there, but I'm just going to keep this simple and then create my folder. It is going to put it on the bottom, so I'll have to scroll all the way down here to find it. But that's okay, because I'm going to drag it up to the top. So it kind of takes a little bit of skill, because you have to get a hold of it here and then keep dragging it to the top. Sometimes it's not that easy to do. There. So now it's my #1 folder up at the top. That just makes it easier for me to work with. All these other folders of mine are now hidden. All right, let's put some stuff in that folder. So I'm going to click on that so that I'm working right in that folder. All right, I'll click on Add Materials. So let's say the first thing I want to add is a file. Click on File. I have many of my own files on my computer, so I'll click Attach File there. And then I'll select the notes that I want them to look at. So it will upload those notes. Also, if you like, there'll be a button here where you can align these to your standards, such as state standards, Minnesota, academic standards. Then I'll look for science. Oops, go down to grades 9 through 12, life science. And then I'll select those 3. I can also just individually assign this, and I can also copy this to other courses from this spot if I like. All right, so my notes have appeared there. Again, adding the standards there can be optional. Also off to the right, this is where I can unpublish things. I can edit this and rename it. I can copy it to other courses, move it, delete it, or save it to other resources within Schoology there. All right, so I've accomplished my first task of uploading file. let's see what else we can do. One of my favorites is Edpuzzle. So I'm going to add an Edpuzzle, which is a video lesson with questions. I have my Schoology set up to integrate with Edpuzzle. If you'd like to do that and haven't yet done so, please contact me. So now I'm selecting an Edpuzzle video lesson that I already have out there on epigenetics. That's the one I'm going to select. And you'll notice I have so many questions there with that lesson. It's going to make them watch that lesson, plus those questions will pop up. And I'll also have it set so that they have to watch the whole video to answer all those questions. They can't skip ahead. So I'm going to click Assign. Here's where I put Prevent Skipping. If there's closed captions, you can turn those on there as well. So now I'm assigning that. All right, and then that pops up and looks like this. Remember, when you assign an Edpuzzle, you do need to edit some of the features, such as I'd like to enable grading on this. I would put probably the number of points that I have for questions. I'll just take a guess for now how many I have there. What category I want it listed as in the gradebook. I could create a new category there if I like. And then if I want this to pop up as a quick link in the upper right-hand corner of their Schoology pages, then I can add dates. I can take away availability to anyone that I want here by just clicking on these green dots. And I can individually assign here as well. Also, I'm going to change the tool provider here to Edpuzzle. All right. There, that one is ready. Next, what else can I add? Let's add a discussion. Call it epigenetics discussion, if I can learn to type. And I'll be sure to put directions. Please respond to the discussion question. Then I would probably put my discussion question there. Then respond to 2 peer submissions. Keep in mind I can also add other things like files, links for other resources. I'm going to enable grading there, however many points that I want this to be, what category I would like it in the gradebook. Remember, at this time, Schoology and Synergy's gradebooks do not talk to each other. You have to manually transfer the grades over to Synergy. I want this for all sections. Again, you can align to standards here if you like. Oops. I can individually assign. I can also do a selection of members can see other responses before participating, whether I want that. And I can copy to other courses as well. All right, then let's add one more thing. Let's add an assignment. We'll call this epigenetics essay. All right, then I write my directions. Keep in mind, again, I can add other items like links, other contents like images and pictures, videos from YouTube, change my font. Oops, I don't want to switch to HTML. Again, links and files, resources from Schoology itself. I can add a little audio-video recording. And here's where I'm going to pull the document from my Google Drive. So I should have already created this assignment or the actual document that I want them to type on in Google Drive. And it'll take me to my drive. Hopefully I remember where I put that. Keeping folders would probably be the best bet. All right, I found my folder, AP Biology, and let's choose this one here, this 11, or this writing assignment, just for an example. And then I will attach that. So you'll see it's attached here, and it's telling me that this will create a copy of your file for each student, so they can type on that and then submit it to you. Make sure to put in your number of points, what category you would like it, any kind of dates that you would like. Again, you can add standards, individually assign, whether or not you want students to see average grades and such, or copy to other courses. All right. Lastly, let's add a test. Tests and quizzes. I like to customize my sections if I'm in a classroom setting so that it only opens up the hour that I want it to, or that only 1 hour is open at a time. But since I might be putting this on a distance learning situation, I might have them all open at once. So I might not want them to see this until maybe later in the week. Oh, this is availability until, so I will have it available until April 3rd at midnight. I like to disable comments in case it's a hard test, then somebody might make a bad comment there. Grade statistics, do you want them to see averages and such? Class averages, individually assign if I like. And then I create. So tests are awesome because you can use them as actual tests and quizzes, or you can use them as worksheets, or how about as an exit ticket where they have maybe just 1 or 2 questions they have to answer before they go. In adding questions, I can do true, false, multiple choice, ordering, short answer, fill in the blank, matching. If you need more instruction on that, please let me know. Settings, can put instructions. I like to keep things disabled till I'm ready for students to see them. I can put a time limit if I like. How many attempts that I want them to have. I can randomize the order of the questions. I can use a page break, meaning that the questions just fall in line one right after the other on the same page, or I can do one question per page. Question review at the end. Can they see all the questions and look at them again and maybe change an answer if they need to? Resumable, I always choose yes in case they get kicked out for some reason of the test. They can get back and right to where they left off. And when they're done, can they view the actual questions and answers? And you can change this throughout. So at first I usually put no, but then when everybody's finished, I might put yes with correct answers. I can preview the test, and then I can see all of the results as well. But I don't have any questions in there yet, so this is going to appear blank at the moment. Here I can copy this test to another course or save it to resources, such as if you'd like to share this test with other members of your department. All right, we're going to go back to the folder the week of March 30th, April 3rd. So this is called a stack. And so this could be thought of as a list of tasks that a student might need to accomplish during the week. You saw where you could put different deadlines for things, or you could make it all due at the end of the week. Here's another thing that you can do with this. It's called student completion. Up here at options, choose student completion. I can make it so that students have to do this in sequential order if I like. And then I can add requirements here. So first of all, I might, for the Chapter 18 notes I have listed there, the member must view the item before they can go on to the next requirement. Then I add my next requirement that, all right, for the epigenetics ed puzzle I have listed there, a member must either view the item, or I might have them have to score at least a certain score before they can move on to the next requirement. Then for the discussion, they must maybe view the item or post a comment and a reply. For the essay, they must make a submission. And then for the test, well, then that would open it up for the test, so I can get rid of that. All right, and then save my changes. So now I have this new box that popped up called Student Progress, where I can view individuals' progress. And you'll see green bar move across this area as they do more of these items. So a neat way to track student progress. I can go into these individual items and like with the test, look at their results. I can go to the gradebook. It'll automatically put the item in the gradebook, but remember you have to, at this point in time, transfer that to Synergy. When I'm correcting essays, this is what it looks like. If you used it from a Google Doc, the assignment is here. I can see who's in progress, and I can see who has submitted. I can move through my different sections and filter different items. So that's the basics of how you add different items to your stack. Keep in mind there are other materials that you can do, such as adding a page that might have some information on it that you want to give to your students. And remember, there's many different ways to customize this and set dates and many different options. All right, let's take a look at our menu off to the left now. One of my favorites underneath Materials is the Update tab. So I'm going to click on that. This is something that you could possibly use every day with your students as a way to touch base with them, or at least weekly, but it might be a way to say what they should get accomplished for the day, such as if I put a date, March 30th, 2020, read the Chapter 18 notes. That they know they should get that done today. I can add, again, a file. So remember, I actually put these notes over in my stack in the folder in the Materials section, but I can add it here again, too, in the updates, if I like. I don't have to, but that could be an option. I can add a link or a resource from Schoology itself. If I have items saved in my resources or that other groups have saved for me. We actually have a science group and we share items this way. I'm going to cancel that for now though. I can add an audio recording, and I can also, if I like, use this tab here to copy this to another course if it applies. And then I can also do a poll if I like. I'll show you an example of a poll that I just recently did. Our class finished up our final on the Thursday before spring break. So I put out a poll, what would you like to do for tomorrow in class? Do a lab concerning DNA. I was hoping they'd choose that one, but it looks like in all the circumstances it was unanimous. They wanted to have a study hall to study for finals, as this was an AP class and many of them have more than one AP or CIS course that they're in. But you can use this area as well to do a poll. And then when you post it, for me it shows up 3 times because I have 3 sections combined in this one class. Also keep in mind when you do an update, it shows up on the student's homepage. So it's the first thing they see when they log on. And some students have it set with their notifications up here to get that course updated or update notification right away when you post those. And you too can change your notifications up in the corner as well, such as if you want to be notified if a student submits a test, although that's going to be a lot of notifications. So you might want to think on that one. All right, there's also the gradebook tab. Again, remember, Schoology's gradebook does not talk with Synergy's gradebook at the moment, so you have to transfer those grades manually. Underneath Members, you can see your class list. You can see if you are the administrator. And then another neat item is that you can send individual messages. You can preview the course as that student and see what it looks like to them. You can make other administrators here. Here you can also find access codes for, these are what you would give to the students, but since we have the enterprise version of Schoology, they get automatically added anyway. If you would like parent access codes, you can click on this link right over here, and then you'll get a list of students in a spreadsheet with their individual code to give to their parents so that they can see just that student's item on Schoology. Underneath course options here, there's some other things like sending messages, viewing the course as a certain student. And if you happen to delete something, there's the recycle bin that you could look in to see if it's in there. And you can click on the resources button up here. And one thing of note, you can see where your personal resources are that you can store items. Let me know if you want to have some one-on-one work with that. I can help you out. You can create groups. The one thing I want to show you here, though, is the apps. There are some apps that work with Schoology, such as the Google Drive app. For most of us, that should already be connected. If it's not, let me know and I can help you get your Google Drive app connected for you. And you can click Install Apps. And then you can see some of the different ones that are actually available. Another way to see more apps is to click on this box up here, these 4 little boxes, and go to the App Center. And some of these are closed off to us, but some of them are open, like the Google Drive Resource app and assignments, YouTube. Edpuzzle is open to us, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Some of it's free and some of it is paid, meaning it'll be open to us, but just to let you know where to find that. Other items of note. This box up here is your inbox. Students can email you through Schoology, a way to contact you, and you can also have it set where it will email your actual email, so you'll get it in both places, both on Schoology and in your email. The notifications, I can see who just submitted tests. And then my own profile up in the corner. Alright, so that's Schoology 101, some of the basics. Let me know if you have any questions or want to work one-on-one with any of these items, and Brian is also available to help as well.